There's this bizarre situation around the country where people leave their homes to go to the store or go on a trip and they come back and a squatter's living in their house. Dr. Phil examines this, and you won't believe the justification for squatters taking your house. Let's talk about peacefulness in America. This is an interesting story. I'm sure you're familiar with Dr. Phil. He's had a number of shows lately.
I'm surprised they're allowing him to stay on. I'm just saying. I know. Yeah. I'm surprised.
This is Dr. Phil. And he did a show the other day about these squatters that are breaking into houses, changing the locks. And then when the owner comes home and says, "What the frick are you doing in my house?" the squatters push them away. And when the police come, in many states, the police say there's nothing they can do about it. Now, I've always been very curious as to what squatters say justifies their right to, like, let's say you and the family go to Six Flags for the day, and you come home, and there's like 19 people in your house, and 5 cars in the front yard all over your lawn, and they changed the locks, you know, and you'd call the police. Somebody broke into my house, and the police would come, and the guy would answer the door. "Yes, sir." "Oh, I have a verbal lease with Mr. Johnson for the next 3 months." And you couldn't go into your house. Well, I've always wondered how people justify this. So Dr. Phil brings on this moron. Her name is Christine. She's a real estate agent. She thinks squatting is not amoral. She said because people with no housing are dying, and a person in possession of the land owned by somebody else can figure out how to get that land away from them. And she said, and if it's $1 million home, they should be able to go in there and take something. And Dr. Phil just couldn't believe what she was saying. So Dr. Phil says, "You mean if I've got 1,000 acres and someone comes and gets a corner of it and adversely possesses 5 acres, I'm not going to miss it?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." And he says, "I know what 5 acres is. I'm not giving away my property. This is not 1776. It's 2024. And he went crazy on her. And she said, "Well, I'm not worth $1 billion, but if somebody's really rich, they ought to be able to give to someone who's taking it from them."
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Is that socialism? It sounds like that to me.
It's communism. They're coming in, taking from the people who worked hard because of capitalism, worked hard, saved their money, trying to keep the lights on, just to have someone that's not working come in and take everything from them. And then you have these woke people on the left come in and say, "Well, nope, you can't kick them out." Well, I don't have to worry about it happening here if I took a day trip to Six Flags because I live in Texas. I live in Texas. So if I come home and someone, you know, and they're squatting in my home, I get to stand my ground. That's how I'm going to put it out there.
Well, I'll tell you something, and God bless Governor Abbott, but, you know, Governor DeSantis in Florida said, if you come home to that and you shoot the guy, okay. Okay. And he's warning people. People in Florida have guns.
Yes.
Don't go into anybody's
Same
house
thing in
unless you
Texas.
expect to get shot.
Same thing in Texas. People, I mean, you know what, Barry, our world is upside down. What was once considered good is now considered evil. And what was once considered evil is now considered good. Everything is flipped upside down. When I see these videos of these squatters going in there and these ladies like, "This is my home," and the police show up and the police go, "Well, there's not much we can do about this," because they say not even producing no documentation that they've even rented the location, nothing. Just they're going based on their word that, yeah, they're here for 6 months or a year and they've already paid. They can't show any receipts, nothing. And the police officers side with the squatters.
Well, you know why?
Everything is upside down.
They're being told by their left-wing screwball
Yep.
city council and
Yep.
district attorney. We're
Yep.
not going to prosecute these cases because rich people have enough already. What happened to freedom in America? What happened to capitalism? What
Yeah.
happened to free enterprise? What happened to property rights? These are all protected under the Constitution, and we're ignoring it.
And they're
Speaking of
doing it,
ignoring-
and they're doing it behind gated communities.
Oh yeah.
They're doing it behind gated communities. So I really, again, there's another reason why I don't have to worry about it. I'm not in a gated community. I'm not rich.